So in physics, we did the battery kind of cell.
Oh yeah, you're right. And then we went on to do a car boot. We had a good cell there.
Yeah. And then we went home and had some celery.
Yeah, get rid of the favourite chicken.
Absolutely.
And then we did chemistry to the half cell.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that, yeah. So then we went to a concert, remember?
Yeah,
we played the cello.
Think about it.
Hey.
Yeah. And
so now we're on to cells.
Yeah, that's it. Like, before we do this way, we should really hit the books, know what we're talking about.
Yeah, exactly. Know exactly what we're talking about. So now I know everything.
I think that's how it works.
So this video is about a particular type of cell.
A eukaryotic cell. This is the sort of cell that you would have.
Yep. Eukaryotic.
Absolutely.
So we'll draw up a little sketch on the board. We're not very artistic.
We're not. So we copied the book as closely as we could, but it's a rough idea.
Yeah. So what do we have going on in a eukaryotic cell?
Well, if you remember the animal cells from GCSE, there's a few things from that.
Yep, and then a few extra things.
Yes, we have our cytoplasm, which is general area in the middle.
Yep, so I'll just point to like an empty gap. Cytoplasm. Things are carried in the cytoplasm.
Yeah.
It's lovely.
It is lovely. Well, straight away.
Well, we have a cell membrane going all the way around the edge, not a cell wall. This is an animal cell, remember, this particular example.
Yeah, and we have ribosomes.
We do, and these are represented by the little black dots that are just free in the cell. So they're ribosomes.
Yeah, and if you want to know what they are, they're sites of protein synthesis. We'll get much more into that a bit later on.
We will indeed.
Then we have the Golgi Apparatus.
Yep, that's a new one above GCSE. Golgi Apparatus. Whatever. And that's cool, it's got this weird little shape like this. It's got little balls at the end, they're important for future things. We'll get onto that in another video.
We have protein synthesis stuff.
Down here we have a lysozyme.
We do.
A lysosome, sorry.
Yeah, it's full of lysosome stuff.
Lysozyme is in it.
Yeah. Then we have a rough endoplasmic reticulum.
Yep. RER for short,
Yeah.
but rough endoplasmic reticulum. This one here is the smooth endoplasmic reticulum.
Yeah, this one has got ribosomes on it, that's what makes this one all rough.
I'm just going to put ER for endoplasmic reticulum because it's very big. Trip's been brave and he's wrote it down. So while he's doing that, up here we have the mitochondria. That's this weird shaped thing with the little zigzaggy things in it. Mitochondria.
Yep. And then up here we have a centriole.
Yep, it looks like a little bit of celery in the middle there.
Yep.
And this, we'll just sum up in general and say, I can zoom in it in a minute, is a nucleus, which is lovely.
It's made up of lots of different parts there. So are we going to zoom in first, or are we going to say what all these do when?
I think we'll say roughly what some of them do.
Okay,
but this is sort of a general structure, you might be asked to label it like this, so take note.
Yeah. So if we start up here, the cell membrane is how stuff gets in and out of the cell.
Yeah. So it's not just an empty cytoplasm leaking out everywhere.
Yeah.
It's contained.
Golgi apparatus, again we'll get more into that a bit later. It's to do with protein synthesis.
Proteins and lipids, it sort of packages them to send them off to other places.
Yep.
That's pretty much sums up its job. The rough endoplasmic reticulum.
Again, more protein synthesis. It 3D stuff assumes 3D shapes there. But
Yeah,
we'll
it does. So that's for the proteins. The smooth endoplasmic reticulum does a similar thing, but with lipids.
Yeah.
Quite similar.
As Wayne said, a lysosome is full of lysozymes. They break up unwanted things in the cell to make new stuff.
Yep, so they're digestive enzymes inside there, and it's packaged in this wall so it doesn't digest, itself.
Yeah, that'd be bad.
That would be really bad. Cytoplasm, just sort of a jelly-like thing. Everything happens in the cytoplasm.
Yeah, a nucleus. This is the powerhouse of the cell.
Yeah, very much the powerhouse.
It makes all the decisions.
It does. Ribosomes, there's a lot of them free in the cytoplasm. They're the site of protein synthesis.
They are.
A large bunch of them, as Triff said, is around the rough endoplasmic reticulum.
Very important there. And then we have the mitochondria, which we'll zoom in again a bit later.
Yeah.
And this is the site of respiration.
It is indeed. And finally we have the centriole. That's involved, again we go into all of this in more detail later on in the course. But the cell division, so the moving of stuff. We'll get onto that in future videos.
Yeah, so without further ado, we should get onto the nucleus, because it's a bit more than just a nucleus.
So which side shall we zoom into the nucleus on?
You do that side, and I'll
You'll do the right mitochondria.
Yeah.
Alright. So, essentially I'm just going to draw this a little bit bigger. We haven't missed anything off here.
No.
But
it's more room for the labels, because it's a bit more complicated than just a nucleus. It's just a big area where stuff happens. It's got different areas. So the bit that Wayne's drawing now is the Nucleolus.
It is indeed. And I've put it as lots of dots here because that's what it really is. But I'm being lazy because lots of dots you might not be able to see any better than that.
Yeah.
So we've got a Nucleolus. So this is a step up above GCSE.
Yeah.
And that produces the ribosomes. So that's why it looks like lots of dots, and it produces them for the rest of the cell.
Yeah.
How would it leave this nucleus if it makes ribosomes?
Well, between these nuclear pores here, that's what this is.
Yep, these gaps, and there's lots of them all the way around.
Yeah, they're not very big, so only the ribosomes and single strand stuff can get through, which we'll get onto a bit later on.
Yep, so RNA, for example, we'll get into it later.
Then I have our red dots here, which are
Things. No.
Chromatids.
That's the one.
Are they? Yes.
Chromatids. And they're all over inside there. Then there's a nuclear membrane, which is the bit that isn't the pores, so it leaves gaps in itself, and that's the nuclear membrane. So that's what stops it all just escaping.
Yeah, again,
Just like the membrane around the whole thing.
Controlling what comes in and out.
You need the word nuclear before it to make sure you're specific to this part.
Yeah.
If you just put membrane, that's around the edges.
Yes.
And the whole thing in general is a nucleus.
And that's what you're used to talking about, I think.
Yeah, in GCSE you thought the nucleus was sort of it. It's actually things inside the nucleus that do the decision making.
Yeah, I'm going to draw a very interesting mitochondria here.
So that's the other thing that we need to zoom in on a little bit, because the mitochondria's got bits inside it. So it's got infoldings all over the place.
Yeah, and little dots all around it.
It does, yeah.
So this is the mitochondrion, like all of it is.
Yep, so that's in general, just like this in general is the nucleus. This is the mitochondria. Inside the mitochondria is cristae, which is something new.
Yeah, and these are these bits, the actual foldings in.
Yeah. Often they overlap in 3 dimensions, these infoldings on top of each other.
Yep, and then finally we have the area in between all these things, which is called the matrix.
Yes. And that's pretty much it at this level, but in your A2 biology, if you're really interested, we actually go into this in more detail, because it's used in respiration.
So you're talking a lot more about how that actually works.
But you need to, at this stage, appreciate that it's used in respiration, and perhaps label them.
Yeah. So these are the cells.
These are your cells.
Yeah, and then we're going to go on to not your cells.
Yeah, so things that invade your body, like bad bacteria.
Bad bacteria. They're pretty pro though, aren't they?
They are pretty pro.
Yeah.
It's time to go hit a few more books.
Alright.